Okay, so identity crisis at age 12. I'm going to tell you why so many Nigerian teenagers are lost. So I'm going to tell you about 4 or 5 things that we have continued to see reoccur. Number 1, there are too many voices around that child's life, and yet there is no compass, there is no guiding principle, nothing. At age 12, a child is not just growing physically, they are beginning to ask silent questions. The first of those questions is, who am I and who am I becoming? But instead of receiving guidance, they are surrounded by influencers that are defining success as money and attention. They are surrounded by peers that define worth as popularity. Number 2 is there is an abundance of information without formation. So Nigerian parents are doing a lot, paying school fees, you are looking for the best schools, you want more exposure, you want your child to get access to global knowledge, but then there is a gap. Information is growing, identity is not. There is no identity at all. So a child can recite Bible stories, for instance, pass exams. He can use social media, the one you call tech savvy. I'm telling you now, it's not tech savvy. They can do all of that and still not know what they believe, why they believe it. They do not know who they are when nobody is watching and when you are not there to provide your hovering supervision. Number 3 is that word I just mentioned about exposure. So there is an early exposure, but there is late conversations. You have never had any real conversation with that child. Let's be honest. Many of your children are exposed to sexual content by age 12. The boy don't go far. That's the truth. They are exposed to adult content, adult conversations on the internet, with all of that, before anybody talks to them about being grounded, having values, setting boundaries, understanding self-awareness. So they experience things that they are not ready to interpret. Number 4 is that you have replaced performance. You have replaced purpose with performance. So nobody is asking about identity. When I talk about identity, it feels like I'm speaking Greek. Many teenagers today are not asking, who am I? They are asking, what version of me is going to trend on the internet? What version of me is going to be accepted amongst my peers? Number 5, spirituality without structure. So for those that even attempt to, I keep saying this thing where I tell Nigerian parents, you cannot raise your toddler like Tupac, and when they become a teenager, you expect them to be Theophilus Sunday. It's not going to happen. So in your house, there is devotion. We go to church. We have Christianese, all of those Christian language that we speak. But there is a lack of deep conversation. There is no real life application. You would have heard me say that if you go to church on Sunday morning and you cannot find application for what you learned on Sunday, you cannot find application for it on Monday, you did not go to church. There is no personal ownership of the truth that is being interacted. So the real question at this point is, what exactly works? If you want to prevent identity crisis, you don't want to wait till that child turns 16. Actually, you should start at 6, start at 10, start at 8. The earlier you start, the better. You build deliberately. 3 things that must happen. Identity must be taught. You cannot leave it to assumption. Values must be explained. You see those things that you write, family values. If you don't explain it, you cannot enforce it. Truth must be practiced. It must be owned. It must be rehearsed, not just preached. Your child should not just know what is right. They need to know, this is who I am, so this is how I can live my life. On this question, the goal is not to raise a child who behaves well, especially behaving in front of you. The goal is for you to raise a child who can stand alone in a world that is full of so many voices. They can listen to that inner voice and discern what is true. They can recognize their own, because discernment starts with identity. Identity must be built on purpose. That's where I'm going to leave this conversation. And sign up for Spiritual Intelligence course for your teenagers age 6 to 16. I'll see them in class and we'll continue on this.